My summer job colleague kept mocking me with his friends, so I made sure he spent his last days scrubbing floors. In my country, high school students can apply for summer jobs during break and work for 3 weeks in June, July, or August. It's not like a regular job, but you're still working and getting paid, which is pretty cool for a teenager. In early July, I started working for an organization focused on getting kids and youth to be more active. My job was basically leading different activities and playing with children. Besides me, there were a bunch of other teens working there, but I'm only focusing on this one specific guy. Let's call him Ryan. My colleagues were extremely immature and would laugh at literally anything, no matter how serious or inappropriate the situation was. I didn't think much about it until the beginning of the third and final week when I had to work in a group that included Ryan. What didn't sit right with me was that every single time I said something, Ryan would look over at his friends and they'd just chuckle amongst themselves. I didn't think much about it initially since they laughed at everything, but it was starting to feel targeted. However, the next day my supervisor pulled me aside for a private conversation. He told me he'd been observing the group's behavior and noticed that some people, including Ryan, laughed whenever I spoke. He'd already confronted them once, warning that he wouldn't hesitate to fire anyone he caught laughing at me. He said they all denied the accusation and claimed they just had a hard time staying serious. I actually believed them at first, until Ryan decided to run his mouth and prove exactly what was happening. A couple of days later, we had to come inside early due to a storm and had less than an hour before clocking out. To kill time, we decided to play Mafia, that social deduction game where some players are secretly assigned as Mafia members trying to eliminate villagers. It's basically like Among Us in real life. After 2 of Ryan's friends got eliminated by one of the Mafia players, Ryan came up with this brilliant conclusion that I must be Mafia. His reasoning, and I quote, "We are laughing at her." So apparently he thought I was taking revenge on the guys who'd been laughing at me by eliminating them in a game. How incredibly childish and telling. But now I had concrete proof that they weren't just laughing at random things. They were specifically laughing at me. I decided to target Ryan specifically, not because his words wounded me, but because he was the only one stupid enough to say this in front of everyone, including our second supervisor. I immediately grabbed my phone and texted my other supervisor about the whole situation. I made sure to sound extra vulnerable and hurt in my message, really laying on the emotional impact of being bullied at work. Not even 5 minutes later, my second supervisor got a phone call from the first supervisor, and I could see them discussing how to handle the situation. Before we clocked out that day, my second supervisor gave a speech about how the organization had zero tolerance for bullying. That's when he made Ryan apologize to me publicly. Of course, his apology was everything but sincere. I could literally see him trying not to laugh while delivering what sounded like a ChatGPT-generated apology speech, but it didn't stop there. There were about 3 days left before we'd finish our summer jobs, so instead of just firing him, they decided to make him work like a slave for those final 3 days. He was sent to different locations and told to clean while I got pulled aside and told to work less. The moment that truly brought me satisfaction was when my supervisor allowed me to leave work 40 minutes early. As I walked past the football field where kids had just finished a huge water balloon fight, I saw Ryan standing there alone with a big trash bag, picking up tiny balloon pieces all by himself. Just thinking about that scene makes me laugh. I wasn't actually that offended by his constant laughter. I just wanted to let him know that being quiet doesn't mean you'll put up with disrespectful behavior. I was just being petty and wanted him to get in trouble, because when people go low, I go lower.